A 9-year-old girl is in the hospital recovering after a horrible accident on Lake Tapps. Someone drove their boat over her inner tube's tow line, snapping it. I spoke with her grandfather today. He witnessed what happened, and he just wants the driver of that boat to do the right thing and come forward.
I think God was intervening here because this could have been a terrible thing. It could have been a death.
Kevin Terry's 9-year-old granddaughter Kennedy is still in the hospital, days after someone drove their boat over her tow line, snapping it.
And she suffered some lacerations on her cheek. She had a little bit of a crushed cheekbone, a little bit of a fracture in her left eyeball wall, the orbit area. Those were both corrected during surgery. She did have to have some screws and small plates in there just to reinforce things as they heal.
Kevin says just before 8 p.m. Monday night, Kennedy sat in the tube as his boat towed her around Lake Tapps.
His boat hit the line and snapped the line at that moment, allowing her inner tube to stop its momentum and rotate a little bit because it was the left side of her face that hit into the side of his boat. She was still in the inner tube, didn't fall off the inner tube, but her face was definitely bloodied at that time and she was screaming.
Kevin says at first the driver of the other boat stopped, but then took off.
The guy stopped and asked us if everything was okay, but he was about 50 feet or more away at that point. And my flagger was communicating something to him, like, weren't you watching where you're going? And I said, let's just focus on the girl here. Then he took off, so we weren't able to get a good enough read on his boat number.
Kevin filed a report with the Pierce County Sheriff's Department.
The accident occurred basically right in front of our house.
Neighbors Nancy Leanne and Jeff Lincoln say they didn't witness what happened, but they're very concerned about safety.
We're astounded that we haven't seen a more serious accident. Even this one, which we consider pretty serious in terms of how that little girl was hurt.
They want more oversight and education for everyone on the water.
We're not sure if the people don't understand the laws or they just are choosing to disregard them.
Later, she told me she was praying the whole time.
While he'd love for the driver of the boat to come forward, tonight Kevin is just focused on Kennedy's recovery.
I would hope that people would start to become more aware of their surroundings, their speed, and just be way more careful, because these things, you don't think it's going to happen, then it happens to you, and it's a quite an interesting impact on your mind that, oh my goodness, this really can happen, and here it is, it's me. So.
And the driver of the boat is described as a white male, 60 to 70 years old, with white hair and a white mustache. The boat is 17 to 20 feet long, white fiberglass with an inboard-outboard engine. Now, the Pierce County Sheriff's Department says at this time they just want to talk to the driver of the boat. They don't know what that driver saw or heard, so they want to speak with him to better understand the circumstances.